Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM, AM 630. WMAL.
It is 8:07 on the Big Bad Morning Majority. Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, Mary Catherine Ham, broadcasting to you on 105.9 FM and 630 WMAL AM. Cool, huh? We have on the line now with us Chairman Peter King, member of Congress, Republican, chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. And I want to get right into al-Awlaki. The man is dead, taken out apparently by a U.S. drone. And you have been very complimentary of the president for taking such action. But it has been a bit controversial in some civil libertarian circles. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I fully support what the president did. I believe we have an obligation to take down the enemy on the battlefield. And this is certainly a battlefield against us. Al-Awlaki, whether or not he was a U.S. citizen, the fact is he had joined the enemy. He was a traitor. And in time of war, to me, we have no choice but to kill or capture the enemy, especially someone as dangerous and as vicious as al-Awlaki. I mean, before bin Laden died even, last January, I guess it was, we had witnesses from Mike White, head of the National Counterterrorism Center, and others saying that al-Awlaki was the most dangerous terrorist in the world, more so than bin Laden. So, to me, this is a clear case. Just like people use the example, tens of thousands of Confederate soldiers were killed during the Civil War. They were American citizens, and yet Lincoln had them killed. So I think it's an issue that is. I'm sure there's some honest people in the debate. I'm not trying to get into that, but a lot of it is just blame the American crowd. No matter what any president does, somehow we have to be critical of him when it comes.
Let me follow up, if I could, just on that, and that is, you're going to hold a hearing to look into, this I guess the killing of al-Awlaki, but also into some of the things that he was responsible for. What are you finding out as you go forward and prepare for that hearing?
Yeah, actually, the hearing was originally scheduled for October 26th. We're probably going to have to adjust the date on it. But we were showing, we had several people working extensively on it over the last several months, that al-Awlaki's influence goes back prior to September 11th. And we think rather than sort of the benign influence that some people in the FBI and Justice Department had, we think al-Awlaki, there's evidence, was involved in the 9/11 hijackings. He was actually dealt very closely with at least 3 other hijackers. And since then, we can trace what an integral part he has been of the al-Qaeda apparatus. And there'd be questions about, for instance, he was actually detained after September 11th on a passport violation, and the government ordered him released. He was actually brought to the Pentagon after September 11th to speak about moderate Islam. So here's a person who had insinuated and worked his way into the U.S. government, and yet we believe he was actually involved or had clear involvement with people involved with 9/11. Now, we'll probably have to push this back a bit now because, obviously, with his killing, we want to bring it up to date to show how much influence he still has.
Right.
I'll give you an example. The number 2 person, Herman Cain, who was killed with al-Awlaki, actually was from Long Island, and he was dealing with people in my district and who attended mosques in my district. And so that's just an example of the tentacles and the influence that al-Awlaki had.
I want to get you, though, on this position of when it's okay to put out an assassination order on an American citizen. Obviously, this was overseas. It happened in Yemen. But would it be okay, do you think? Do we have the legal authority to actually do that? I mean, you mentioned the Civil War, but we're in a different circumstance now, to actually give an assassination order for an American citizen if he were in the United States, even if he is al-Qaeda or whoever?
In the United States, if you resisted, but I would say no. I mean, every effort would be made to capture him, and I think that could be done in the U.S. The only way he would be killed in the U.S., it wouldn't be a shoot on sight. It would be if he was resisting and firing back. But in Yemen, my understanding is the way the process was worked was if they could have captured him, they would have. I spoke to people who were involved in the overall planning. If they could have captured him, they would have. But just the reality of it is that he could not be captured over there.
Yeah, because we've talked to several people who think, including KT McFarland talking earlier on the show about, we'd rather maybe capture someone like this, but they're afraid that it's the administration's unwillingness to use Gitmo or the military tribunals that keeps us from capturing these guys.
Yeah, I've heard that, and again, let me just say on that, I'm giving the president credit for getting al-Awlaki and bin Laden. On the other hand, the president was out of his way to take cheap shots at the Bush administration, the constant references to torture, and obviously they're talking about waterboarding. To me, I'm willing to defend the president as far as shooting al-Awlaki and bin Laden, but to me, it's a lot more lethal to be shooting people and basically blowing their bodies to bits than it is to hold a guy's head underwater for a few seconds to get information. So, to me, the president really is being, unfair to the Bush administration, and he's being hypocritical on this. But no, I think that we do have the right to kill him. As far as taking prisoner, I've heard that. I think in this situation, from talking to the people who are involved in it, is the only way they could have gotten al-Awlaki was the way they did.
All right, away from national security, just talk good old American politics right now. As you look at the GOP lineup, how's it looking to you? And a lot of people are saying, well, now it's time to sort of love the ones you're with and quit looking around for that other guy who might come in.
Yeah, I was looking around. I had actually urged Governor Christie to run. I supported Rudy Giuliani in 2008. But right now, it looks as if it is going to be Mitt Romney. I'm dating myself, but Mitt Romney and Rick Perry. I think of the two of them, I think Governor Romney has the edge. Mitt Romney has I think a better organization, and I think he's going to be considered a safer candidate. He's going to project competency, but again, obviously there was something missing, in that he doesn't get people's energy going the way you'd like.
Well, what about Herman Cain, Congressman? He's tying Romney in one poll, and Perry's number 3 in the CBS poll.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Herman Cain. I just don't know when it comes down to it, a person who has no, not just governmental experience, but no public policy experience. Several months ago when he was saying he had basically no policy at all on Afghanistan. To me, if someone's going to be commander-in-chief, should have some sense of foreign policy and military policy. But again, listen, he's done phenomenally well. No one's numbers have moved more than his have. And in some ways, he did it under the radar screen because he did not have any PR apparatus. He wasn't coming in with a lot of people behind him. So I give him credit. And again, he may end up being the candidate. And if so, I certainly support him.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Congressman. We always love having you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thanks
Have a great day.
Congressman Peter King.